Hi guys and welcome. In today's video I'm going to be transforming this denim dungaree dress. I'm going to be cutting the bottom off and putting a broad angle skirt on the bottom. I picked this up in a charity shop quite a while ago now, and it's took me a while to actually get my hands on some white broad angle. But this is the beautiful fabric that I picked up. So this is the bottom that I'm going to be putting on, and I'm also going to be making it very full because I want to wear a petticoat underneath it. Now on the back, I've already unpicked the back pockets because I want to leave these on, but I've left them on stitched an inch, and then I'm going to stitch them over this at the back. So I've left them in place. I've done it off camera just to save time. So where I've got the buttons at the side here, I'm going to turn it inside out for starters. I'm going to just get it the side where these buttons are, and I'm going to mark it just an inch underneath that flap, so that it's going to give me I'm not coming close to this thickness when I'm trying to attach my skirt. So let me mark that at an inch. Got my tailor's chalk. Right, so I'm just going to mark that. Just going to pull this out, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure that from the bottom. And that is just over 13.5 inch. So I'm just going to come round and mark that all the way across, so I'm getting it even. Right, so this is the top that I'm left with. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try the petticoat on and this and work out how deep that needs to be to come roughly an inch and a half below the petticoat. So this is the top of the dungaree dress, guys, and I've got my petticoat underneath, and I've got different length petticoats, me, because I love petticoats. I love the full 50s fashion. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this at the bottom is just coming to the top of where that first tier is on the petticoat. So I'm going to take it off, measure the petticoat, work out how deep I need the pieces to be on the broad angle skirt, but allow seam allowance, because it's going to need a hem on the bottom, and it's going to need one on the top and one in the middle where I join it, because this has got 2 layers. Now I was going to do 3. Do I do 3 or do I do 2? That's what I need to make my mind up about. So that's where I'm at now. Right, so what I'm going to do now, then I'm going to overlock the top and the bottom, and then join them together so it just makes a band. Right, so that's all 4 sides overlocked. So what I need to do now is, that's the right side. So obviously the right sides have got to be facing each other. And I'm stitching on the wrong side of the fabric. And that is my second tier with the 2 pieces and the pattern running through. So I'm going to do the exact same with the third tier. I'm going to overlock both sides on all 4 pieces, and then I'm going to join them together to make the loop like I have done on this one. So I've got all 3 tiers here, 1, 2, 3. On the first one it's just 1 loop, 1 piece, 2 pieces on the second, 4 pieces on the third. So I've got my 3 tiers done now, and the bottom one, which is the biggest one, I'm going to put the hem on it before actually putting these together. Now, a lot of people would do this last as the last job, but it's so much easier to do it at this point when you've not got all the other fabric on it. Just get that overlock and tuck it inside. With this pattern I've just got half a flower on here, so I'm just making sure that I'm just turning that half a flower over, and then that's going to be my seam allowance. Right, so I'm just going to go all the way around it, guys, doing exactly the same as that, but I'm just going to stop the video now just to keep the length down. Right, so on this bottom tier, all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go around and just press that hem flat, and while I'm doing it I'm just going to give this a press. So all the pieces have been pressed, and what I need to do now is for the top piece on the bib, the top of the dungaree dress, on the bottom I've been round and I've overlocked that, so that is all overlocked. That's all I've done, is gone to the overlocker and gone round it. But at this point now what I need to do is that top piece, because I'm going to assemble the whole skirt before it's attached to this, because yeah, you can put that on there, but then as you're doing your other 2 layers you've got this to deal with. So make the skirt first if you're going to do something like this, and then attach it to this last. So I'm just going to measure across there, and it's really easy to get your measurement when it's coming to something like this to get the right amount of gather. So I've took it past this by about 10 inch, and what it will be, that will be the overlap on the needle. So from there to there I'm going to allow a little bit to put a knot on, and then that's going to be 1 piece. So when I've got 1 circle, that will do half of it, and then the next piece will do the second half, and that gives me the full amount of gathers for that. So I've got my 2 pieces. I'm going to take it in the other room, and then I'm going to start gathering that top piece. Right, so I've got the top piece and I've got the join there, you know, where I made the circle. So where that is, I'm just going to run that, put the edges together as I'm going along this to find my halfway mark, which is there. And then I'm just going to put a clip, so I know that that is my halfway marker. Okay, so let me just get my first cotton threaded. Bring that down about 10 inches. I'm going to put my knot in the end. Make sure that's a good knot, so I'm not going to be pulling it through, and then I'm going to start where that clip is, and I'm just going to come just underneath where the overlocking is there. I'm just going to come just underneath that, and then I'm going to start gathering it. I can take that clip out because it's done its job, and that was just to let me know where the half marker was. Right, so I'm coming up to the join now, and when I get to that, I'm going to tie this off because that is 1/2 to one piece of cotton. So I know that that gather on this side is for one, either the front or the back on the let's get that, so that's there on the dungaree dress. I know you shouldn't do that, but I've left my scissors on the table. Right, so let me just get that. So I'm going to do the exact same on the other half. Right, so this is the second tier with 2 pieces. So I'm just splitting those 2 pieces of cottons up. Right, so I'm coming to the join. You need to find your join because obviously you're going to finish at the other join and start the new piece. So where the join is there, this is where I'm actually starting my gathering from. And obviously on the top piece, because of the way I cut the fabric, I've got 3 meters wide in the top piece, 6 in the second piece, and then there's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12 meters wide in the bottom piece. So you can see how they all fit into each other. Right, so I've come to the join, and this is where I'm going to be tying this off, because obviously that's the first half gathered to go into 1/2 of the top tier. I'm going to pull this through a few times so that again it doesn't pull out. So that is, and then I will just sort them out so the gathers are all even when I get back to the table. But I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side, but I'm going to do it off camera just to save time. So this is where it's going to start to take shape now. So I've just put this second tier on the table, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to find where the join is and then roughly make sure that the gathering is pretty even, so I've not got a bulk of it in one area. Right, so I'm going to get the top of that one and then the bottom of this one, and again I want to find where the half is. Oh yeah, the clip's there, so I'm just going to get that clip because that's where the half is. but make sure that I've got the fabric the right way. Yeah, so this is here. So this needs to be clipped onto the bottom. So this needs to be clipped. So where I've gathered this here at the top, this is clipped onto the bottom of the top tier. Wait a minute, have I got that right? Yeah. And then let me get the join on the other side. And then that's going to be clipped onto the join on the other side. Okay. So I'm just going to go and clip it about every 7 inch. And again there, that's fitting perfect. So that is the top one and the second one. So what I'm going to do now is, I've already done the fourth one by doing the same method as what I've done on the other two, and I've gathered them. So this, I am going to find a seam. Right, so let me just get that, because what I need to do is I need to get this and half it, so I'm getting one piece into a quarter of this. Yeah. Right, so let me just, it's two on there, isn't it? Ooh, it's warm. Right, so I've got the join there, so I just need to come down with that. And put a clip. So again, I've got 2/4 there that's clipped. And then if I do the same on the opposite side, I've got my 4/4 for my pieces to go in on the bottom tier. And then you've got your even gathering all around. You're not going to get an area where you've got a bulk and then an area where there's none. Right, so where that is, let me find a seam. Right, I've got one here. So that's the wrong side, that's the wrong side. Right, so I'm going to clip them together, and then again I'm just going to start. Let me get that other clip at the bottom of there. Oh, it didn't interclip because it's a join. So I'm going to find the other join on this one. Come on, I've got it here. So I'm going to clip that together. For some reason I haven't done the gathering. I must have missed one, but I thought I'd done them all, but I've done other 3, I know that I have. Right, so let me just get that so it's all pretty even. Okay. And then once again I'm going to come about every 8 inch, clip it. Right, so this is all 3 tiers clipped together. Right, so that all wants stitching down in place now. Right, okay then, let's get this all stitched down. So I'm going to start on the top tier first. That's bottom here. And it doesn't matter where you start, but I'm going to start with the flat bit underneath and the gathering on top, so that I can see where I need to, if I need to move it and position it. Right, let me get that turned on. And I'm just stitching just underneath that overlocking. So I'm just making sure that it's laying flat underneath as well. There's actually a lot of gathering in that, so I'm going to unclip that and just move a little bit round. There we go. And I'm just making sure that the edges are coming together on both pieces of fabric, that it's lining up. So although I'm stitching just underneath the overlocking, I'm doing that on the underneath as well as on the top. Okay. Right, so all the skirt now is finished. So what I need to do now then is pin the bottom to the top. So what I need to do is get my side seam, and I've already just worked out that that is half there. So it's right side of skirt to right side of pinafore. And then I'm going to get the other seam at this side and pin that together. And I'm just going to come across here and pin this in place. Clip it in place. I do keep saying pinning when I'm clipping, don't I? I think I need to take a bit of that gathering over. Just take a bit of that over there because there's more in this side than there is in that side. That's it. Okay, and then I need to get the other, so I'm going to need to put that through. And I've pushed the pockets out of the way here, pushed them down, because hopefully I'm going to stitch them onto this. Right, so let's go and stitch that in place. And once again, it don't matter where you start when you're doing this, but I'm having the gathers on top again, so I'm in control about how many gathers in what area. And I'm putting the edges, these two edges together, and again just stitching underneath that overlocking. Right, I'm going to need some pins for the next part. So the last job for me to do is to stitch the pockets down in place. So what I've got with this top tier is, I'm just making sure that where that's going to be, just get that so that, because I want to keep the pockets as I've said, so I'm going to pin these in place. I'm going to go back to my machine, I'm going to put a thick needle on, and I'm going to put some orange cotton on, then we're going to get them pockets stitched on in place. Right, so I've put a thicker needle in. Get these undone. I've left the white cotton underneath, and I've just put the orange cotton on top. Right, so let me just get this. Let me just undo this so that I can get in. Get as much as, oh, ow. And I'm pricking myself. Okay, let's get these on. Okay, let me just get the cottons snipped off on there. Okay guys, so that's where I've got the pocket stitched on the back. Let me just get, there's a little bit of cotton there that needs. So here we go guys, the finished dungaree dress. I've got my white petticoat underneath. I could always put a different colour on and the colour would come through the holes on the brocade anglais. This does feel really comfortable. I've got the two back pockets where if I want to I can put my phone in there when if I'm just mooching about. And of course the shoes I've gone for, or the sandals, are the Faith rockabilly ones. So I'm really pleased how this has turned out. It's turned out just how I imagined it to, and this dungaree dress, which was from Next, but I picked it up for £2.40 from a charity shop. So that's the finished transformation today, although I have done it over 2 days because I run out of time yesterday because I had other things to do. But I'm loving how it's turned out. I hope you've enjoyed this revamp, guys. I'm certainly going to enjoy wearing it because it's so comfortable on. So thanks for watching guys. Take care for now and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.